Hi everyone, this is Mr. Hoffman, and today we're going to be talking about beat blocks, or just beats. The topics are: what is a beat, quarter note, paired eighth notes, and quarter rest, and composing. Objectives. Repeat after me. I can define rhythm and beat. I can explain different ways to fill up a beat. And I can compose rhythms that are 3 to 4 beats long each. Great. So what is a beat? This is a word I hear a lot of musicians use at our school, and it's a word that I hear a lot of musicians use incorrectly. And so we're going to hopefully clear up any confusion about what a beat is today. So some vocabulary that we need to know. Rhythm and beats. We'll also need to know meter and tempo, but we don't need to know them yet. They're only on the slide because I want these words to stay together so that we can have them later. But we're only going to talk about rhythm and beats today. Rhythm is a pattern of long and short sounds. So, for example, here is a rhythm. Here's another rhythm. Here's another rhythm. Do, do, do-day, do-day. We can use snapping, clapping, or chanting, or tapping, or any number of other things to play or perform a beat. To play or perform a rhythm. And these rhythms are in a pattern of long and short sounds. So I could play a rhythm over and over again, and it wouldn't necessarily have to change. It might sound nice if it does, but it doesn't have to change. I could go for a very long time. That's what makes it a pattern, something that you can repeat. And it's the pattern of long and short sounds. We can have long sounds like this, la, or we can have short sounds like this, la 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 la. And if we arrange those sounds into a pattern, la 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 la, then we have a rhythm. Now, we need some way to talk about rhythm. We need some way to talk about, well, how long or how short is this sound? And the way that we do that is with beats. Beats are units for measuring rhythm. We need to be able to talk about how long or short a sound is. We will talk about meter and tempo, but we'll talk about those another time. Tuck those words back into the back of your minds, and keep them in mind for another week. Rhythm is a pattern of long and short sounds. Beats are units for measuring rhythm. Oh, there we go. So here are some different ways that rhythm and beat are shown in different styles. On the upper left, we have a beat chart. I'm just going to change my color here that I circle things with. We have a beat chart here in the upper left, and what this is showing is the beats labeled with numbers. So we have beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, beat 4, and these beats last for, I'm drawing a line across each one, but you'll notice that there's another box, and that box has a plus sign, and because it has that plus sign, I know that that is in the middle of each beat. So we have beat 1, which lasts for all this time, but I know that this is in the middle of a beat. So this would be two short sounds next to each other. Or I could have sounds just on each beat, nothing in between. That familiar clapping pattern that you're used to when teachers want to get your attention would look like this. As you can see, we have long, long, short, short, long. So that's one way that we can notate rhythm using a beat chart. There's also something called a piano roll. And if you're familiar with Chrome Music Lab with the Songmaker module, which we did an assignment with earlier this year, you'll remember this tool. What it shows is that there's a grid, and in each little box in the grid, you can place a little bar, and that little bar is a sound. And you can also, down at the bottom, you can also put in these little dots that represent percussion sounds. And what we find is that we have a visual, or something that we can see, a representation of all the different pitches from low to high, and where they come in time in the song. And it scrolls across so that we can see everything. Down here we have an example of one of my favorite games, Mario Paint. It's a little bit older, so I'm not sure if anybody has played it, but this is actually very close to what real musical notation looks like. As you can see, we have our clef here, which you might remember from our treble clef assignments. It's the notes are exactly as you'd think they are. This note right here is on the bottom line, so that's E. And each of these vertical lines is a beat. And that's one way to put it. Well, when we're using real musical notes and real musical notation, we are going to use these symbols here. And this is an example of a song that our classmates in 3C, 3D, and 4A are playing on the recorders this week. And as you can see, some of these notes are just one beat. Some of these notes are 2 beats. And another of these notes is actually 4 beats. Each one is a different length, different symbol, different length. And we'll talk about that even more right now. So notes and rests. A note is a symbol that indicates that a sound should be made for a specified amount of time. A rest is a symbol indicating silence should be made for a given amount of time. The different symbols, they each mean different amounts of time. Each of the symbols that are on this slide fill up 1 beat. You'll notice, however, even though we have quarter note, that's just 1 symbol, and that's 1 beat. We have quarter rest, and that is just 1 symbol, and that is 1 beat. But these paired eighth notes, you'll notice that there are really 2 note heads. This thing right here is called a note head. There are 2 note heads, and that lets us know that it's 2 sounds. That's why I made that word plural. So it's 1 total beat, but it's 2 sounds. So quarter note would sound like this. Paired eighth notes would sound like this. And quarter rest would sound like this. Like silence. So just keep that in mind. Different symbols, different amounts of time, but we can fill up 1 beat with each of these 3 symbols, or in this case, a combination of symbols. So how do we write rhythms with these notes? Well, we can combine quarter notes, and we'll use the syllable do. Paired eighth notes, we'll use the syllables do day, and quarter rests, we'll use the syllable sh to read and write rhythms. So what could that look like? Well, On this slide, I have some example rhythms, and I'm going to perform these for you. I see right here on this first line, we have a quarter note, paired eighth notes, and then a quarter note. 3 sets of paired eighth notes, and then a quarter note. How many beats are in all? Well, each of these is one beat. Each of these symbols is one beat, or it fills one beat. How many beats in all? Well, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I like counting things in fours, so I'll do that again. 2, 3, 4. I see 2 groups of 4, so there are 8 beats in all. What does this rhythm sound like? It sounds like this. Do, 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 day, do. Do, day, do, day, do, day, do. I clapped the steady beat. I chanted the rhythm. That's a really key difference. The beat and the rhythm were different. Listen again. Here I go. Do, 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 day, do. Do, day, do, day, do, day, do. Let's look at the next line. How many beats in all? Well, I know that each of these symbols or combinations of symbols is one beat. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I like things in groups of 4s again, because I see these 4s at the beginning. So I'll put 1, 2, 3, 4. What does this rhythm sound like? It sounds like this. Again, I will clap the steady beat. Actually, no. I'm going to tap the steady beat on my table and chant. Do, do, day, do, do, day, do, do, day, do, day, do. I'll try it a different way. This time, I'm just going to snap the rhythm. 1, 2, here I go. As you can see, there are many different ways that we can perform the rhythms. Now, there's going to be a symbol that we haven't heard yet, and we won't hear, in this next one. Let's count the beats again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's play that rhythm. I know that this is a rest. So when I get here, I'm actually not going to play or say anything except for shh. Here I go. 1, 2, here I go. Do, 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 shh. Do, do, day, shh. Practice tapping out or chanting out these rhythms by yourself. Then move on to the next slide. Ready? Pause in 3, 2, 1, pause. For your assignment, your job is to click and drag the notes or rests into the boxes. So, for example, all of these are many different copies, or many copies of each of these kinds of notes or rests on top of each other. So you can just click and drag wherever you want, and there will still be, I think there's about 5 in each little stack. So here's an example of a rhythm I could make. So I have a quarter note, paired eighth notes, a quarter rest, and a quarter note. Together, they sound like this. Here I go. Do, do, day, do. As you can see, there are 4 boxes in this row. Make sure you pick at least 2 different rhythms to put in each row. So if I only had quarter notes, in a row, that would not be acceptable. But if I added a little bit of variety with some eighth notes or a quarter rest, then that would be okay. So for this slide, you're going to put 4 symbols or 4 notes or rests in each row, 1 in each box, to represent each beat. For the next slide, you're going to put 3 in each row, and there are 2 rows. And it's the same, you'll just click and drag the note to where it needs to go. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope you learned something new. I can't wait to see your rhythms. If you would like, here's a challenge. Record yourself tapping, clapping, or chanting one of your rhythms. Add it to this slide as an audio or video file using the Insert menu. You can use the camera app on your phone or tablet, the camera app on your Chromebook, Flipgrid, onlinevoicerecorder.com, or you can ask for a grown-up's help with recording. Next week, we will be using notation software to notate our rhythms or write our rhythms on sheet music. I'm so excited to see what you do. If you have any questions, of course, reach out for help. That's what I'm here for. Can't wait to see what you do. Have a great rest of your week. Bye.